Right, May update. I just reminded myself what month it is, and here's the car. Quite a fair bit's happened, I guess. I don't know if you can spot any differences really. So the panels are on. Front panels are all on. Well, I say all on. Bonnet's obviously not. This one is in the middle of being sanded. The arch gaps are not too bad. I mean, they could be better, but they could be worse. It's kind of hard when you can't move everything. There's not as much adjustment in a hot rod as there would be in the standard car, but to be honest, I'm pretty happy with it. Doors open. He's a bit flared out, but to be honest, he's the same on the other side, so I'm not overly too bothered. The front grill's on. I would literally 2 minutes ago looked at putting the grill in, but I need to remove it back off, so I can do that. I had to bolt them all up so I could get all the reference points for this wing. When I had the car built, I sent it with this wing and the wing that's dumped over there, and then decided that that wing was too rotten, so we then dug out another wing and sorted that one out. But he obviously didn't have any bottles in the places that Bennett built had drilled them, so I had to kind of suspend him, and those were the only three that he would line up to, as the ones in the physical body of the car didn't line up to any of the holes on the panel either, which I thought was weird, but I've sorted that now, so he's now on properly. Here's the hutch gap's even tighter than the other side. Let's go over here so I can show you. He is very close up here at the top, but I can see light through it, so I'm happy. The door opens. He does open up a bit at the bottom. I might see if he wants to bend a little bit over, but I can live if he won't. Doors are on as well, actually. I didn't even think about that. So these are not the doors again that went to Bennett, but these are new doors that are solid, because my old doors are rotten, something chronic, as you can see over here, and the pile of rust, and that's just from tipping them over. There wasn't much left of those. So both doors are now on. That one doesn't look like it shuts very well. He hasn't got any rubbers in him. Or is he not shut? That looks horrendous. I'll look at that. Spent today sorting out all the windows and the winders and stuff, and putting the door tops on. I'm gonna make my door handles. I'll probably do that Sunday, but I thought I'd get an update out today. Boot lid's all on, back lights are on, and they're wired and working. I'd say they're wired, I've just realised that one's not actually plugged in. I've done these cool little connectors. I'm sure everyone can make them really. So there's one here which is going from the light through the wing and stuff, that then plugs into the car. Oh, his is up there somewhere. And then inside, under the lamp, is another one as well. So I basically can remove either just the lamp completely or the wing without too much fuss. I'm gonna do the same on the front, so it would just be a couple of bolts to remove the wings. In my infinite wisdom, I decided I'd tap every single hole on the lights to M6, because who wants to deal with Imperial stuff, which proved difficult for fitting the screws back in that hold them, because they go so close to the plastic, so I had to turn them right down on the lathe to get them to fit, but whatever. I then realised this lamp's actually cracked. I need to dig another one out and swap them over, but the lights actually work. I would demonstrate, but obviously they're not plugged in, and no one wants to see me faff about for 20 minutes. This door's on. I swapped all the handles over to the old handles that I had on, that I used to run the car, just because I actually have keys for those. Not that I need a key to run the car, you just need to know how to, but that's more complicated. But at least I can lock the physical car and walk off with the isolate key, I guess. We've got our fuel filters all mounted up, and over on the right there is the 2 double acting relays that will run the wiper motor and give me park and things like that. I haven't actually, we're in the middle of doing that. The problem is there's so many jobs to do at the moment. Basically sand, and then in between sanding do other things. So he's down there still waiting to be looked at. But I have mounted the top bits, and we have windows. We have the front and the back window in. Like I said, I contacted a good mate and he came out, gave me a good hand, my friend Chris over at Custom Coach Trimmings. He's brilliant. Anything you need car interior wise, he is your man. He's even offered to reupholster my seats for me for free, for doing a bit of sponsorship. Like, he's going to reupholster them grey and black. Probably just basically change the green bits to green and fix a few of the holes that are in them, and do some beautiful stitching that he does. I'm sure he can't wait, and I'm pretty sure he'll find this is news to him, and he'll be really excited to do it for me. But yeah, definitely check him out if you guys need anything for hot rods and things like that, in terms of, you know, upholstering and things like that. He's brilliant. I would say no job too big or small, but he's only little, so he probably can't reach big jobs. We've got our back calipers are on. That bit of rubber, look at that. That's the trim for the arch. I just haven't got around to them. Back calipers are fully rebuilt. I painted them red because obviously that makes everything faster. They are sorted. If I'd done this on the other side, I could have shown you. We've even got brake hose. So got our forged brake hoses. He looks a bit tight, but he'll be right. And this one's rebuilt. All new seals and pistons, things like that. And he's on there. Painted the dust covers as well. I should have done those off the car, but I wasn't going to pull the bearings to do that and pull the shafts out. That was too much effort. I've got my front brake hoses on, but I think I did a little bit of a miscalculation with my measurements, as he is a bit tight when you're on full lock. I'm not too happy with that. So I'm probably going to have them remade another 200mm longer probably. I'm going to have a better look at that tomorrow, just to decide what I really want to do. That's something that you kind of come across quite a lot with these sort of hot rods and things. As much as you measure things and things like that, sometimes things just don't go to plan. Both headers are on to give me references for wings and stuff like that, to make sure that nothing's going to collide. They don't have to look cool together. I'm trying to think what else. So next jobs, I'm going to get the front lights in and fitted, and probably pull that front panel off and get the grill in. I think they go into more silly UNF nuts, and I will pull them off and put M6s in or whatever, just because no one wants to deal with metric stuff, imperial stuff, sorry. What else we got? Shifter linkage is in and sorted. So I did what I'd mentioned in one of the other videos, where I flipped the linkage over and then I flipped the bar over. So normally in a TH350 you'd run this mount underneath here, connecting to these two or wherever. Connects to those bolts under there on spacers and stuff. And for the park, which we're currently in, this sits as far forward as possible. But obviously when you just flip him over, he still does exactly the same motions, quite happily. So that saved me a lot of messing around, really. So that's first, second, and drive, neutral and reverse, and park. So yeah, I do really like these B&M shifters. They just look cool, and you can just slap them. I mean, it probably needs some getting used to, as I've never had an auto like this before. So it'd be cool, but should work. And obviously makes me go fast. That's the main thing. I still haven't measured the prop shaft. I mean, I've measured it like 5 times. I'm just not 100% on my measurements. I want like 4 other people to come and measure the same distance for me to make sure I'm 100% right. I've been looking at, I can't remember what the company's called. Not PropTech. There was another one I looked at, but I can't remember what they're called off the top of my head. Who have a cool little PDF that asks for every single measurement and all sorts, to make sure they're making, you know, sort of the perfect prop. Instead of me just saying, oh, it's TH350 one end and Volvo the other, they actually want measurements and PCD of like the back hubs, the back flange, number of splines, things like that, which makes a lot more sense to me, to be honest. So the roof is, the roof's pretty much done. That's nicely polished. I can't remember what other panels we've finished. I think the back wings are done. Body of the car has had a quick sanding. Doors haven't been started. That wing is in the process. I believe the boot lid is done. Probably just waiting a quick another go over with the DA with the buffing pad on. But yeah, my goodness, sanding and polishing takes a long time. I kind of regret putting so much paint on the car. I can see why people pay someone else to do it, because as many coats as we've put on, and we put a lot of thick coats on, we must have got through, I'm trying to think how many litres of paint we used on this thing. We definitely got through a 2.5, then we bought a 5 litre, and we're probably halfway through the 5 litre. So there's at least 5 litres of paint have gone somewhere. And ultimately, I know I just sand it all back off and it ends up on the floor, but the amount of times we've cut through, me and Gaz doing this, it's unbelievable. Turns out it's actually a lot easier than you'd think to cut through, but you live and learn. I'm trying to think what else I've done to mention. Oh, pedals are in. I'll show you the pedals, because I did like a whole feature on those, didn't I? Talking about them. I smacked the door into everything. So these are now in and fitted. Felt like that was nice. I did have to cut and sort of like notch the back there. It looks a bit of a mess. That's the tiger seal, just to make sure. I wanted every bit of the movement of the pedal. I know when everything's bled up and stuff, you won't actually need that much movement, but when the rod is on the end of the pedal and pushing into the cylinder, that is the full length of the cylinder. So I thought, well, it should have that movement. I know once it's solid and stuff, you'll never need it. You probably only get sort of like an inch movement anyway, because it's going to be like rock solid, but it's just right, isn't it? So we've done it. I'm back out here tomorrow, Sunday, probably Monday. I need to use the broach cutter, cut a few more holes for wiring glands, ready for a few other bits to go in. I need to plan the wiring for the shifter, because obviously it's got a neutral lockout, and I'm also going to run the button for the torque converter locker, and I probably might put a line lock button down there as well. I know line lock's on my control panel up there, but I'm thinking I'm not actually going to want to stick my hand up of my head to turn it on and off. I'm probably going to like turn it on so it's active and live, and then have a button I can hold to actually have it engaged, if you know what I mean. So it's like sort of quick release if there's problems and stuff like that. But they're just thoughts there, going around the old mine. This is the back window in. To be honest, Chris did it in like an hour and a half. Did both windows, just knocked them straight in. Entertainingly, the first thing he said when we started on the front window was, "Oh, which way up does the window go?" And I thought, oh well, that's the same both sides, isn't it? Turns out they're not. Turns out they have a way up. So that's probably why me and Gaz struggled a lot fitting that window, and were unable to, because we were trying to install it upside down, which would be why the glass wouldn't get anywhere near its mounting points. It's amazing the amount of times we tried, we didn't somehow accidentally come over with it the right way up, but it is what it is. Live and learn. I only got that trim in minutes, which I kind of want black trim now. I'm trying to put all the chrome bits to black, so we go with a grey and a black sort of look on the car. But to be honest, that's not important. That can happen in time. I'm just trying to think what I want done next. So end of next month, the goal is to take this to the Morris Minor Nationals. So I want it to be sort of 99% done, as close to as I can. So there's still a lot of little bits to do, and we'll try and get it there. Right, I will leave you guys to it. Take it easy.